Morning, 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 morning. It's Charles. I want to finish these questions here. A young lady in India. Welcome. She commented on my video already, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'm sorry I never look nicer in my videos. I tend to make videos when I look horrible. I don't know why. I always look horrible actually, but you know, what do you do? Blow your head off? I don't know. Anyway, let's get to this. Question 6. Is there any Serbian phrases I should know? I know Kosovo je Serbia and things like Samo Sloga Srbina Spasava. Good motto, by the way. But that's it. And incidentally, I completely support Serbia and Kosovo. Redrawing borders isn't an issue one country can do without consulting the host country or the international community. Wow, young lady. I'd like to applaud you for a moment. I totally agree with you. Wonderful. Awesome to see a 19-year-old lady from the middle of India that thinks that way. You know, India's been a good friend to Serbia, especially on that issue that you was just discussing. I'll let my viewers give you some ideas if there's any other phrases that I think you should know. The only ones that come to my head are filthy phrases that I would use, but I'm not a 19-year-old young lady. So the viewers can give you some idea. That's awesome that you know Samo Sloga Srbina Spasava. Wow. Woo! You make me look bad. The Serbian nationalists, the Serbian patriotic people will love you for knowing that much about their country. That's going to make them feel special. Next question. Anything I could do to help there? I make it a point not to visit somebody unless I do them a service in return for them having me. Maybe like a food kitchen for the needy, or I could cook at, or a charity I could do some work at. Yes, there is. Yes, there are. There's numerous ones. First of all, the Divac Foundation is a wonderful, wonderful charity. It's my favorite charity when it comes to Serbia because this charity, Vlade Divac is just a good man. He's a wealthy man that made a lot of money playing professional basketball, and he's done a lot here in Serbia. There's other organizations, but I don't really have as much support for them, I don't think, as I do for him. He puts so much money into redoing schools in small villages that nobody's heard of because the government here neglects it. He does a lot to help poverty in small communities. He fixes up hospitals and does that all gets avoided. I know the director. I can put you in contact with the director, and I'm sure they would love to have somebody from India to go to one of their locations to do something, I'm sure. The other one, my other favorite place here in Serbia, last January, a bunch of us, some of my Facebook friends, some of my friends here, we got together toys, pins, papers, trucks, cars, balls, etc., and brought to this one, it's a place for troubled youth. This is located in Voždovac in Serbia, in Belgrade. I'm going to put their information here in the link. I sat down with the director. They were very, very grateful that people donated things for them. And they have lots of kids. They have a little school there. It's kids that get kicked out of school can come there. They don't have parents, some of them. And there's lots of refugee kids that come here from Somalia, from all these troubled war zones, Syria, that little kids with no shoes come by themselves, that they get caught here. And so I asked him, I said, if there's anything we could do to help you, what would it be? What's your biggest need? He said shoes, used shoes. He said they're constantly, him and his staff, they go out and buy with their own money that they don't even make very much, about 400 euros a month. And they buy shoes for these kids, you know. So that's something they need. And he told me I could come and help teach English. I could just visit with the kids because a lot of those kids don't have an adult figure in their life. And it breaks my heart. When I talk about kids struggling, I'm like a woman because that's kind of a sexist thing. But it makes me cry, man, because I did that in Mexico. You know, I worked at 2 places in Mexico. I worked at a school for kind of wealthier kids, and I worked at an orphanage. And the best experience of my life, yet the worst experience of my life, because those kids, I love kids so much. And when those kids that don't have a father or a mother latch on to you, they need that in their lives, you know. And so, you know, those are tough things. And I'll put you in contact with him because I think it's an awesome organization. What he does for so little money and spends so much out of his pocket, they need applauded for that, you know. People like that are what make this world what it is, or what makes it livable, okay? Because we don't live in a good world. Good for you, though, to think of things like that. Most people go on vacation, they think, hey, where can I get drunk? Where can I do this, this, this? You're thinking of helping. You're just an amazing lady. Where is it recommended I stay? Belgrade is the capital, but India is enough proof that the capital isn't all you should see. New Delhi doesn't compare to cities like Mumbai, Kolkata, Patna, Hyderbad, Goa, etc. Well, like I stated earlier, I do not think you should spend your whole vacation in Belgrade. Serbia is made up of such special places, north, south, east, west. There's something great here for everybody. What I would do if I was you, and this is just my tip, if you're here for a month, I would get a home base, maybe somewhere centralized. Kragujevac, Belgrade is okay because all the buses go everywhere from Belgrade, and it's about a 3-hour trip to everywhere. 4-hour if you're going to Užice or somewhere because it takes forever. But have your home base because you could get an apartment cheap. I could help you find one for 150 euros, and then you could spend, 20 euros going somewhere for a day trip maybe. If you go early enough, there's buses every hour to most places. And then if you wanted to stay overnight somewhere, get a hostel in one of those cities, or even a hotel. Or, I've already had people here comment and say, I want to meet this young lady from India. I love India, blah, blah, blah. So you can find so many friends, especially when they see how wonderful of a young lady you are, and you won't have to pay for a hostel. You can stay with a Serbian, and it'll make your experience so much better. So that's what I would do. This city only has one city with over 1 million people. That's Belgrade. Novi Sad and Niš have around 500,000. Other than that, you've got smaller towns: Zrenjanin, Subotica, Kragujevac, Kraljevo, Valjevo, Vranje, Leskovac, Negotin, some of those at around 100,000, Sremska Mitrovica under 100,000, Čačak and Užice and places like that, but none of them have that many people. You've got hotels, you've got hostels in some of them. You can stay cheap anyway, but that's what I would do. I would find you a home base for $150, and that helps you save quite a bit, and then travel, maybe, and stay with some Serbians on your days off. Okay, and I'll help you find some people. There's already people that really want to meet you. Any topics of conversation I should steer clear of. I know enough to avoid issues of Balkan politics, but I'm ignorant other than that, and I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. Not really. Serbians are very intelligent people. They're easy to talk to. Before I came here, my biggest fear that I had was Serbian people. Because everything I'd heard in the media and movies and things, what I knew was that they hated everybody that wasn't like them. But after being here, I found out that's the absolute opposite. They're interested in other people that are interested in them, and they're willing to listen to you, and you can talk about issues. Maybe not in public if you don't know somebody. You don't want to start discussing, something that happened in Srebrenica or something, because it's just not right. But once you get to know a Serbian, you can talk to them about anything. My best friends now, almost, the majority of my closest friends are Serbian. And we discuss everything. We discuss American intervention into Serbia, and I support intervention sometimes, but not very goddamn often, because it's always used for interest. It's not used for what it used to be. So you can discuss it with them. Maybe not, if you don't want to discuss something with a Serbian, don't be offended if you hear something that maybe you didn't want to hear, because Serbians are somewhat, not to be insulting to them, but they're not all that politically correct. Serbians will usually tell it like it is in most cases. And if you discuss Catholicism and maybe something such as that, you might get something that you don't want to hear, because there's not a big favorable opinion of Catholicism, the Pope, and different things such as that, because of how the Serbians were treated. But Serbians are good people. They're smart people. They know many, many things. They're educated. Here in Serbia, in my high school in the USA, I graduated in 1994. I'm an old man. But we could only take 7 subjects. One of those subjects is physical education or study hall. So we had 6 subjects. Here in Serbia, I travel around, speak at schools. Some of these schools, 16, 17, 18 subjects these kids have every semester. They're studying 3 or 4 languages: English, Serbian, German maybe, Latin in medical schools and such. They learn a lot. They learn about exports in Brazil. Very well-rounded people, so you can discuss anything with them. And you'll find out that they're not mean and they're not cruel and things such as that. Finally, is there anything I could bring you as a gift from India? Wow, you've been instrumental, and like I said earlier, I don't leave a service unpaid in any case. You do not have to bring me anything, young lady. I do this because I enjoy it. I've made 400 videos about Serbia, over 400, and I've had so many people from so many foreign places contact me And I do this as an obligation, kind of. You know, I'm going to sound like an ass kisser or very cheesy, but I do this as a service to the Serbian people. I would love to do the same thing in Iraq and Afghanistan, because I see how foreign policy has devastated certain countries. My country was behind the breakup of this massively large, successful powerhouse here. And now it's left, the democracy is still new, it's floundering kind of. It's tough to get a job, massive corruption in government, and lots of infrastructure was destroyed by my people. So what I want you to do is to be a foreigner. I want you to come here to experience Serbia, to meet the Serbian people, to go back to your country and let people know Serbians are not like you see in the media. They're not mean, they're not cruel, they're good, gosh darn people. Some of these kids here, they look up to me. A lot of these young guys, they'll write to me and say, hey, he said, how can I talk to my mom about this subject? How can I pass this in school? I'm not doing good. What can I do with my life? You know, it almost makes me cry when I think about it, because a lot of these kids, I don't see how they're as passionate about their future as they are. They study hard, they're doing well in school, they're learning all these subjects, but when you get out of school here in Serbia, it's not easy, you know, to find a job here. The unemployment rate is 30 to 40%, maybe more than that in some locations. And so many kids are leaving this country, and they're unfairly ridiculed, unfairly criticized by foreign medias, and it's sad. So your job and my job is to come here to express our interest and our love and our experiences here in Serbia to our people back home, your people, to try to help the future of this country. When you come here and spend money, it helps some family here in Serbia survive and do well and do a little bit better for themselves. And all in all, it makes the world a better place. You can bring India into Serbia. A lot of these people in Central and South Serbia, they never see somebody from India. And so they'll be very interested that you're interested in them. And so that's all I need. Okay, I need you to come here and to assist in making this world a better place, my dear. And you can bring me a shirt too. I love to collect shirts, like maybe with an Indian flag, extra large, because I'm a pig. Anyway, that's it, my dear. Hope I answered your questions. If you need anything else, don't hesitate to contact me. Don't be Jada.